much. And yeah, just trying to get used to the environment, the folks here, right, and the community, trying to engage with people. That's all. Um, yeah. So from, I mean, I do have something that I can, I mean, where I need some help, but I'm not sure if this is up. I should bring this up in this
No, yeah,
forum.
but
But
please do,
okay.
especially if you've got a merge request or an issue or something that we can have a little look at and talk about. Yeah, that'd be great.
No, sure. It's not related to merge request, but I was trying to set up JDK locally in my system, and then, well, I was choosing Mise, or how you pronounce it. I don't know,
Yeah,
Mise. Yeah. And well, I'm not able to set that up, and I'm getting some error. If you'd like, I could share my screen and show it to
yeah,
you.
please do. I don't know, like collectively, hopefully we might be able to help. Like we moved
Sure.
from ASDF to Myers or Mies or whatever it is, like around about 6 months ago. I don't claim to be an
Right.
expert, but I've been using it, so we'll do what we can.
All right, sure. I'll share a window where I'm trying to install, or I
Brilliant.
was trying to install this, and okay. So yeah, I hope it is readable. And got a bunch of warnings. Just let me quickly go down, and yeah. So this is where it's failing. Um, Failed to install Aqua Git leaks, right? And I
Yes.
would like some pointers here. Like, what should I do? I mean, just do Git JDK pristine, try and do a fresh reinstall again?
No,
No.
I have seen this. I don't know the immediate answer, but I'll take you through my process. Unless Marco or Jim, you'll immediately know the answer.
No, I faced another issue with Mies, but not this one.
Okay. So, um, yeah, what I'm going to start by doing is having a look in the GitLab Development Kit issue tracker to see whether like somebody specifically raised an issue around this kind of Git leaks or Myers or Aqua or one of the keywords. Um,
Right.
and I have found one. And what does it say? Um, it's broken pre-commit. So they haven't said that they had a problem installing it actually. They're just sort of saying think that when they try and make a commit, that GitLeaks was erroring because Myers had actually installed the wrong binary. It installed like the AMD 64 instead of the ARM 64 or something along those lines. So it's a subtly um, different issue, but I think the solution might be the same. So I'm just going to have a quick look. Um, I've got a vague recollection. Oh, that's interesting. So timeout almost suggests that it was
Yeah.
just
A network
um
error.
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, even I was thinking it might be a network error, but my internet was working fine, just fine at that time. So I'm really not sure. Um,
Might also not be your network error.
okay.
Could be on the other end. So one of the things that I have got in the back of my head, and again, my terminology is going to be completely wrong, but I think that basically under the hood, Myers has backends, they're called, which are different sort of repositories or data sources where it gets the tools from. And I seem to remember that we initially we switched off Aqua or wanted to switch off Aqua because it was doing something wrong or bad. So that might be a solution for this. Now, where did we see? So what was it saying? It's basically it's failed to install Aqua Git leaks, Git leaks. So yeah, let me just see. Um, oh yeah, there's a proposal to disable Aqua. So can you try? I'm going to send you a command in the chat. basically to
Sure.
disable Aqua, and then we'll basically try running whatever installation or that you were doing before.
Right. So this command, right? Yeah.
That's the one.
Okay. And yeah, now I'm not sure how should I continue the installation process because I mean, should I run the same command which was I think I copied
Which
from the tutorial. Yeah.
Yeah, which one were you running before out of
Uh,
interest?
yes. Let me check. Let me get that. Mm, Just give me a moment.
Yeah.
Yep. So I was running this command which I'll share in the chat. Um, mm, 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 this one.
Right. So that's the 1.9 installation. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So can you just do a directory listing of the directory that you're in at the moment?
Sure. Yeah. So it just has GDK.
Uh, and then can you go into the GDK directory and just show us what's in there?
Yes.
So it doesn't look like it's sort of, it looks like it's probably just cloned GDK, but hasn't got as far as really doing the installation. So let me see if I can find in the GDK docs the command that essentially you sort of run next, if that makes sense, because we've already, I don't know,
Right.
Mark, I don't suppose you know that when we disabled Aqua in Myers, because it might be as easy to rerun the install from scratch, but I'm just not sure that my setting, whether that sets it at like user level, like globally, or is it just within the directory that you're in, or
I think it disables Aqua globally because I was having a look at another issue in GDK that
Mhm.
was related to Aqua and Git leaks actually. And they tried to do Mise and install Git leaks. And then let me basically, this is the command that I found.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Well, let's try. If you move up a directory and RMRF the GDK directory, I think we try doing the 1.9 installation again.
Yeah.
Now that we've set that setting to see if it, I don't imagine it was taking too long to get to that error.
No, it would because it would. Okay. I'm not sure. If we okay, just remove the GDK, right? So yeah, it shouldn't. Hopefully, yeah. So should we try that?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. So
Okay. So what you want to do is GDK everything,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah,
And
run that curl bash script again to
yeah.
kick off the.
Okay. So this,
Yep.
yeah. Yes. Okay, that is fine. Uh, Let me copy this. So I should go with mice, right?
Yeah.
One
Go with
or
mine.
rather,
Very
yeah,
soon, ASDF will
yeah.
be gone. So
Okay, that's fine.
perfect. It's interesting that it's actually upgraded Myers as well.
I think it does by default.
But I mean, like, I don't know when you last tried to do that installation, unless it just, do you think, Marco, that maybe it said it has upgraded Myers, even if it didn't, if there wasn't an upgrade available? Or
Yeah, I think so.
the other thing to do as well at some point is, you see there's a couple of messages there where it says you can remove this or you can disable this. Is that second one to disable it?
Yeah.
Run that, because otherwise it just spams the console, but you won't be able to do that until after the sort of installation.
Yeah, and that spams the console, not only from inside the GDK folder.
That's right, yeah. I think, has it already got further, or
It
No.
already
because
had downloaded the clone the GitLab repo on the folder before, so I think we're still missing one step.
okay, I didn't see when we did the directory listing. I didn't see the GitLab folder, but yeah, I just didn't look hard.
Hmm. That is true. That is true. It didn't show the
Well,
GitLab folder. Hmm.
Well, that's while we're just waiting for that. My update on, I'm normally on the contributor success team, Ashwin, but at the moment I'm just kind of on a borrow, essentially working on a new team building and essentially like AI slash agent catalog, or workflow catalog, or we haven't fully decided exactly what it is yet, but so the last couple of weeks I've been working on that team and sharing with Marco, Jim, whoever can tolerate listening to me where we're at with that. It's really interesting. Well, I'm finding it really interesting space, because everything's changing so fast, and there's kind of lots of decisions to be made around sort of direction, etc. So, for example, there's a decision to be made around whether to define these agents and workflows in repositories as some kind of JSON or YAML, or whether to do it in the database. Now, we made an initial decision to do it in the database because it gives us more control over sort of schema, if that's the right word. Like, there's a field for prompt, there's a field for model, there's a field for trigger, whatever it might be. So we can enforce constraints and foreign keys and other bits and pieces. But eventually probably do see it maybe going into the repository, because we get so much cool stuff when we use a repo. Like, we get merge requests and we get code reviews and we get approvals and we get commits and diffs and blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of where we've gone initially and where we see ourselves going. There was a lot of debate about whether we should have like a generic type, like catalog item, or whether we should have very specific types for like agent and workflow and maybe model and various other things. And we've got quite explicit guidance in our development docs to avoid polymorphism. But we have actually started off down the generic route just so that we can sort of bootstrap and move fast. And then, we'll figure out a little bit further. Oh, go on. Mark, are you going to say that it passed, it worked?
Yep.
Git leaks install successful. Yeah, that's promising. You can hide if you want, Ashwin, your screen, or you can leave it and we can see if you hit anything else, or just keep us posted. Raise your hand, give us a shout if it was over, or you've got any questions or whatever.
Sure. I think I'll stop sharing my screen, or I am not even sure if that has already happened.
Yeah,
If
it
my
has
screen
indeed.
is okay. So yeah, if there is anything, I'll just share it.
Perfect.
If possible right now, today itself, or not. If not, then probably I can do this async, or maybe in the next catch up. But for now, I think that's all. I'm really excited to have been part of the community, and yeah, I'm having fun. I'm just just started, so yeah, finding my way. right
That's
now.
awesome. Really appreciate you getting involved. Out of interest, what are you specifically interested in? Front end or back end
Yeah.
or like and do you use GitLab like at work or at school or like what's got
Right.
you interested?
Sure, sure. So, I actually have some experience. I'm a front-end engineer, and I have also interest in back-end, but my work or my profile has been solely on front-end. I've been doing front-end for more than 6, 7 years now.
Cool.
So now the I recently joined an organization which actually uses GitLab. So I have been
Awesome.
working with GitLab so internally, right? It's been about 3, 4 months. And prior to that, I mean, did not use GitLab. I was using GitHub, and
Yep.
I have some experience with Bitbucket as well. But primarily, I was on GitHub, right? So GitLab was something new. It was interesting, and so then I thought I've discovered that okay, so we can actually this is open source and we can contribute to it. Like, look into the codes, right? How it is working, how it is built. So that was interesting to me, and then I thought, okay, why not?
Amazing.
Contribute
Yeah,
and
yeah,
give back to the
that's
community.
really cool to hear. And same journey for me, same journey for Marco, same journey for pretty much many. Um, so there's a couple of things that interest me. Like, have you at your organization, have you got like I don't know whether we call them itches a lot of the time, like some sort of functionality that doesn't quite work how you'd like it, or ideas about where you might at the moment, I'm guessing
Mhm.
you're starting with some simple things that
Right.
fix a typo on the front end. Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
think what we've got front end issues to work on. I can't remember what our quick wins are, Marco, but
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But is there something that you have in mind further down the line, or kind of gaps that you've identified as an organization that you might like to dive into in the
Yeah.
future?
Yes, yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. Right now, I do not have uh, any such items in mind. But yeah, going forward, I'd definitely like to, see
Awesome.
how, yeah, if we have any specific requirements or if we are not, I mean, if we feel that something can be done or improved or anything like that, right? So definitely I'll share my ideas and raise issues.
Perfect. Awesome. That's brilliant. Thanks for sharing. Um, so I can't remember where I got to. Dynamic. So we've got dynamic catalog items
Yeah.
stored in the database. We've got a table for like just really to store the name and description, and then another table think has just been merged. Now my brain's yeah, I'm fairly sure we've just merged another table which is going to hold like the actual sort of definition of the workflow or the agent, and um, we've actually called it like versions. So you've got the catalog item table and then the catalog item version or versions table. So the
Okay.
idea is that we create an item, an agent, and then we create a version of that which has this definition, but then maybe we modify that and then create another version and so on and so forth.
Kind of to overcome the missing the repository.
What was that? Sorry.
Kind of to overcome the fact that you're missing the repository.
Yes, pretty much. So this is work that essentially we've kind of I don't know what the word is, like given ourselves. Like we could have avoided this by using the repository, but then obviously that would have introduced a whole bunch of other sort of stuff that would have been more challenging or like constrained us in different ways. So but yeah, and the kind of things that we're now trying to figure out is again like where and when to start going a bit more specific and deliberate. So I've exposed the GraphQL endpoint to get a catalog item and to get catalog items. But do we create one to get agents at this point, or do we just use the generic one and pass it a filter parameter to say I only want agents and that kind of thing? And then same thing goes with the create. I think we're sort of starting to lean more in the direction as we build the front end and the back end to start talking together, that it might be better with the create endpoint. So like to create an agent to have a specific mutation for that rather than having a generic create item mutation that you then have to say, oh, what type is it? Oh, it's an agent. And because the validation is better done based on the type, if that makes sense. So if
That makes
it's
sense because different types might also require different fields.
exactly. Cool, awesome. So yeah, like I feel like we've accelerated a lot since last week. Yeah, just like there were so many discussions happening, but we were struggling to merge any code because decisions were kind of holding us up a little bit. But now we're starting to merge stuff in. Yeah, so I feel like progress.
Well, it definitely sounds like a progress. And what about the terminology and stuff like that? Is that not completed? Because I don't think it will ever really be completed, but clear.
Yeah, I'm still I'm still like a little bit unsure in my own head. I definitely think that again, let's go back. This is my view of it. My view is that like a key differentiating sort of factor or whatever you want to call it, a workflow would contain triggers. So or a trigger, whether that trigger is, oh, it's run manually, that's fine. That can be a trigger, or it can be, oh, this is triggered when you create a merge request or whatever. So a workflow is a wrapper that encapsulates one or more agents. Or actually it might be zero or more agents, in fact, because a workflow, I think we can have a deterministic or an agentic, if I've got that terminology right. So a deterministic workflow. Don't know if we talked about this last time, but I think we're kind of inadvertently building Autoflow, which is something that's been under development for a while, but possibly sort of on hold. And Autoflow was meant to be like triage ops, but built into the product.
Yeah.
So the idea is that like a simple workflow might be trigger when the merge request is created, add this label to the merge request. That could be it. It could be that simple, right? But then we start saying, oh, what about agents? Okay, let's add an agent in. So trigger when a merge request is created and call this agent. And this agent uses a model, an LLM, to go off and say, oh, this merge request changes these files, adds this code. Like, what labels do you think it should have based on then?
Yeah.
Comes back, and then so yeah, the agents are smaller. It's like the piece that talks to the LLM, but then where it gets a bit confusing is I know that we use like supervisor or orchestrator agents as well. So that would be where the workflow has an agent at the top that then almost delegates to all of the other agents who go off and do their own little bits of the task.
Yeah, because the orchestrator knows how to put the agents in sequence, like.
Yeah. So again, it might be more of a deterministic sequence where, oh, it's simple. One agent goes and gets an issue and interprets the description and puts an implementation plan together. The next one then goes and creates a merge request based on that implementation plan. That could probably be a linear workflow that's not really a supervisor or agent. It's just two agents chained together.
Yeah, going back to the triage ops example, it could be one agent that analyzes the issue description and evaluates what labels could be added and pass it down to another agent that actually adds the label to the issue or stuff like that.
But then I don't imagine that it would be an agent that adds the labels, but I could be wrong there. That's the bit I'm a bit.
It could be an agent that provided a list of labels, decides what to do, and it could use a tool to add the label.
Yes. Yes, but I guess then we're saying potentially the agents don't have to use AI, if that makes sense. Like an agent. But yeah, that's where I'm a little bit unsure at the moment. Is it the workflow that's either deterministic or agentic, or can an agent actually be deterministic and it doesn't use any LLM? It's, in which case, in my eyes, it's basically a mini workflow, but
Yeah.
the question is,
if an agent is simply getting the list of labels from this previous agent and using the tool to set the labels on an issue, it's kind of like calling the API. Do I really need AI to do that? I have a list of labels to apply. Let me call the API.
exactly. And that's where I'm just in my head unsure at the moment. The complexity, if we use an agent for that, is that means that a workflow can invoke tools directly, as well as an agent being able to invoke tools, which I don't know if that adds sort of complexity, whether we should say, well, actually, every step we have a trigger, but then every step, the remaining stuff is an agent. But then we've also touched on the topic of routers, because obviously, depending on the result of, like, let's say it's a simple agent that goes off and says, do you think this new issue is spam or not?
Yeah.
Then depending on the answer to that, then it's going to route to a different,
Okay, but isn't that the orchestrator basically that takes the output of an agent and decides what to do with it?
I guess it kind of is, but again, we're talking the difference between deterministic and, like, if it's literally, if the agent, the LLM prior has already made the decision, is it spam, yes or no? That's the question you asked it. Then we already have a 1 or a 0, a true or a false to route it, as opposed to if you just ask the LLM, the agent, to summarize and interpret the issue, and then it came back with something like, oh, I think this issue is possibly spam, then you need another agent to then say, based on the response to the last one, do you think it's spam? That doesn't really make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, but these are all fun conversations, and there's like 100 things happening all at the same time, and at some point we're all going to align.
And criticizing it a bit, I think it will combine everything together once some of this potentially over-engineering will cease to exist. I mean, when things will be simplified and all the process will be simply defined to do this, will do that, this, and this other thing will do this thing, not have a full picture that's blurry, but have maybe smaller pictures, but you know exactly what they do.
I mean, I know what you're saying. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, because we're trying to think of everything up front, and it's impossible to do that. So we just have to start building bits, and then, what's the next bit we need to discuss and think about and mock up. And definitely, like, the way I like to work, or seem to work best, is by trying to build some kind of proof of concept.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was in the same situation a couple of months back. I did an analysis for one thing that we had to implement, started to implement it, and after maybe 3 days, I throw it away because it was so much overcomplicated that it wasn't needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that happens all the time.
There's nothing wrong with that, right? I definitely
trial and error.
That I'm sure some of our values involve, like, sort of failing fast and those kind of things.
I 100% agree that it's easier and probably better to try to come up with a solution and see it fail, because you know why it failed.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, 15 minutes left. Jim, anything exciting going on your neck of the woods? Any questions for us today?
The only question I have is related to that work items issue. So I see a lot of like test work items in that are unlabeled and just open and hanging around
Yep.
for years, and I think they can be closed. And I don't see any sort of automation anywhere for GitLab bot to automatically close work items.
Let me. So there's definitely something. I can't remember if I mentioned it previously, where we've kind of internally have been looking at the number of issues and sort of figuring out how we can, like, how many of them were created by bots, how many were created by team members, how many were created by community members, how many have been open more than a year, starting to try and get some of that data together. But I don't know that we've managed to find like a DRI at the moment to be like, okay, who's going to work on this project of like figuring out how we make this more manageable and scalable going forward. Simple, silly things. And I know you've been looking across like the whole group or multiple groups and projects, which is awesome, because I think you or someone else maybe identified like an entire project and you were like, well, there's over 1,000 issues in this project.
That was me.
It's like this project is like redundant. Has that been archived off now, or
No, it has not.
Feel free to poke me or someone else on that if we can, assuming that there hasn't been a response, so there's not a good reason, because I'd love to a single action being able to reduce that backlog by 1% or 1,000 or more issues is awesome sort of thing. But yeah, the same we want to kind of happen internally as well. But just trying to find someone to drive it. And it might well be that we do say, well, sometimes I think you can get hung up on the number as well, right? Oh, there's 110,000 issues or whatever. But if we do have some kind of, I don't know, whether it be labels or, well, yeah, actually, but like 10,000 in this test project, and this test project is used exactly for this reason, I think that could be okay. Or maybe they need to be private if we don't want them to clutter up or whatever. We figure out a way, So was the thing you were asking about specifically about like descendants and childs and parents and that kind of thing, or?
Yes. So let me go ahead and find a couple real quick. Give me 1 second.
I'm going to ask Duo chat while we're there. When I close an epic in GitLab, all of the child issues get this too. Marco probably already knows the answer to that, but I said I didn't think there was a cascade in like an automatic.
Yeah, I don't know the answer, but I also think that it won't close all the children.
That was my guess. And the same thing with like a work item with tasks as children, etc. But it seems like something that's sensible that maybe we could ask a question. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're closing this issue or this epic and it has children. Do you want to close all of them as well? I don't think doing it automatically would be the best idea, but asking the question might not hurt.
Yeah, or have two actions, one to close a single item and one to close all the hierarchy.
Yeah. So Duo chat says, no, it doesn't automatically close them. It says child issues maintain their independent status. The relationship is still preserved because obviously the epic or parent or whatever is just closed. It's not deleted. Menu close it. Yeah, that's about all it says, really.
Yeah, because if you make so that when you close one epic, all the issues associated with that epic are closed as well. What if you add a new issue later later on, or?
But then it's interesting because I might argue that maybe you shouldn't even be able to add like an open issue to a closed epic. Maybe it should sort of, but again, it's a big old, what's it, can of worms, right? So I've asked the duo now, so after it summarized that, I've said, are there any issues? And I've found it really good at this. I've said, are there any issues in the GitLab project issue tracker discussing this? So I'm going to see if it suggests, like, which, Jim, you're probably one step ahead and you maybe already have something.
All right, you want to open up that one that I just sent you?
Yeah, let me share my screen.
So you just have all these.
Oh, so these are ones that are like basically contributing to these 66,000, right?
Yes.
Got it.
Because and the GitLab contributor platform doesn't hit those, and GitLab bot doesn't hit those, from what I can tell.
No, I don't think it would. So let's have a quick look. This is annoyingly, when I've navigated away, I can't see the conversation that I had before, but yeah, it basically pointed me at this issue. So I'm interested from 7 years ago what the conversation was and if we've got anywhere. So an epic should be auto closed. Oh, so this is actually talking about the opposite direction,
right?
Yeah, and I don't agree with that.
Right.
Because
so
you
I
might not have all the issues associated with the epic, and yeah, I mean, if you close all of them, it doesn't mean that you have completed the work.
7 upvotes in 7 years isn't great, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's
that's good, yeah. Please go on.
Yeah, I think if you close the epic, that would mean that all the issues should, in theory, be done. Is my take.
Yeah, that could be true, and definitely more true than the opposite.
Correct.
Yeah.
We use themes and all these other things that make absolutely no sense. So I'm not used to epics.
Yeah, so let's ask that more deliberate and specific question. This time I won't close my browser with the conversation. It's experimental, right? That's why we've not got the conversation history in there at the moment. But it's I found it so good at like searching the issue tracker, and when I'm implementing features as well, like saying, yesterday I was implementing a new permissions, like a new ability to one of the declarative policies, and its ability to look at our like conventions and patterns and documentation and best practices and stuff and suggest and point is so good. And then when I raised the MR, it identified a couple of like typos, when you copy and paste things like GraphQL fields and you forget to change the description, or I'm really like learning to love this more and more. Okay, so it's found that same one again, but it is searching for more. So let's see if it finds anything else. So do these, I take it these do come up. How would I even, if I searched in here for task 1? That's not ideal.
There it is. I'm trying to find that one project.
Can I do that is
Monitor Sandbox. That's what it is.
think there is an issue for, or at least it's not finding one. I'd be amazed if it hasn't been discussed though. For our manual searching. So, okay, so we're using tasks properly as well as testing them. So how did you even find? How did you stumble across this issue, these tasks out of interest, Jim?
So I was on page, I think, 5 of all the unlabeled issues inside of GitLab.
Got it.
And I just
Okay.
I saw task 1, task 2, task 3 right after each other. And so I figured, hey, I'm going to open these up. It's probably spam or somebody testing.
And whilst
And I pinged the person who created it. I don't know if they're now blocked. They were not blocked the other day.
so Melissa, I can't remember when, but she's left GitLab, so hence why I blocked. I would say.
Can I get you
100%.
to super user and just close those issues for me?
You can if you're not fussed about the fact that you like won't get the points for those. That's fine. Although to be fair, even from my point of view, I'll show you something in a minute. I don't know if I've shown you that. And then actually, time.
It looks like, at least from my point of view, it looks like your regex prevents us from doing anything from it, and I am not I'm not looking for torture with regex and changing it to include work items.
So if I click on close this
Of course,
issue.
now I get all those emails from you closing up.
I hadn't connected the dinging with my. So if I try and and we haven't really got a sort of appropriate option either, really, have we?
So hold on, let me. Is that one still open?
Yes.
Can you send me that direct link real quick? I want to try putting it in because it was not letting me do work items.
Oh, do you know what? It did actually it let me do it. So it's not open anymore. So let me pick the next one. The only other one. Let me just reopen one.
Well, just just
and then just the Zoom chat, all right?
yep, Zoom chat is fine. Contributors. So when I put it in, I get not a valid issue URL.
Okay. So, but if you go, if you open the issue or the work item up itself, and you use the link from inside it.
So that didn't get added until you. It did.
Well, it's when you posted it. So if you look here, 2 days ago, so it was triggered by you. That's what added it on.
Right,
but
right.
That's a great shout to fix that regex. So what is so it's basically instead of issues, it's work items. So let's just have a look at the. Brain's just mush all of a sudden. So it'll be contributors at JavaScript pages. So then manage issue page, look up issue. Yeah, so I think we could just put an OR in here.
Yeah.
We're not doing a very good check anyway, if that makes sense. Like it's quite vague. Like obviously when you enter something in, if it's gobbledygook, it's just not gonna so if I tried to do Oh, my screen decided I haven't moved for so long it wants to turn off. So if I do hello, it knows it's invalid because of my regex. But if I do hello/issues, goodbye, I think my regex will pass. Oh no, it doesn't. I miss it. Oh, it's got to have a number at the end, maybe.
Oh, you're missing the dash.
Dash. I think I can hack it quite easily.
So I think it also requires an HTTPS in front as well. The reason I say that is sometimes when I am copying issues, it copies as HTTP and it throws a hissy fit.
It's looking for.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
it wants.
the slash at the beginning. Oh, come on.
Still something that. So it's a forward slash and then some characters and then another forward slash and then a dash. Ah, okay. Yeah, that should be right. What are we missing? Issues.
Regex 101 and see why it fails.
Yeah, sounds good.
Why don't you put it in Duo and ask Duo to generate a...
I just feel like that should be like, it looks so simple, this one. Forward slash dash, forward slash issue, forward slash, and then digit. Yeah.
It's a simple regex.
Scroll down a little bit on the page, if you don't mind.
As far as it goes.
That is as far as it goes.
Unless it's something different, because you're doing the match, but it's probably trying to call the URL, it's failing, and going to the catch and put valid.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's making a network request probably.
Try to remove the HTTPS at the beginning.
I think when we're trying to build a URL, oh, URL.origin. Okay, yeah, you're right. I don't know. No, because the URL, the issue URL should have that in. There you go. Yeah. So at that point, it's okay. So it's not the regex isn't sophisticated. The regex is pretty rubbish, I think. But what? So let me just reload this page. Yes, it doesn't do the validation until I click anyway. But yeah, it's not the regex that's being there. But this should be a really simple one. I'm almost tempted to ship it without like just doing it in the web IDE, if you know what I mean. But if I put brackets around it, becomes a capture group, right? So
not that easy, because you also need to change the API URL. It's calling always the issues.
I think that might actually work. No, in fact, it definitely. Oh, yeah, I don't know actually. I think you can use them interchangeably. So. Yeah.
Because it redirects.
So it might work anyway. But yeah, let's maybe we'll even create an issue. It's quite a simple fix, but I won't get because it is. Well, then you've got to add a test and etc. So we'll create an issue and go from there. But yeah, now at least you know a hack that you can add a comment that will then add the link at the top, and then you can use that link to jump straight to it. Awesome. Thanks both for joining. Enjoy the rest of your days.
You as well.
All right. Thank you.